Why didn't nobody say that if you don't make friends at college, you're literally miserable? Oh, okay. I know. I was just checking.
What is up, guys? I'm filming another commentary video. I'm gonna be filming a friendship crisis in Gen Z idea I've been wanting to do for weeks now. I just haven't been filming it. I've been kind of putting it off because I didn't know how to formulate it. But if you're new, subscribe, like this video, comment, check out my other videos, or if you haven't already. What is it called? Turning Postifications. Check out my socials. Everything's linked down below. And yeah, check out my shorts, check out my other videos, all that good stuff. It helps me out a lot. I think it's important to talk about the friendship crisis in Gen Z because I feel like it's becoming more of an epidemic nowadays. People often blame it because of the panorama back in 2020, and I'm sure that like everyone remembers it. People still bring up the panorama to this day because they're like, oh, like I missed out on so many things because of the panorama. Fortunately, I didn't have to go through that because I graduated like 2 years before the panorama started. But I do notice that since the panorama, people have a lot more socially awkward or something. Like people are just a lot more awkward now versus like how it was before. I mean, when the thing is about me, I've always been very socially awkward since I was a child. I've always been considered the shy child, the very awkward one. I don't know what it is. I don't really know why I'm awkward, but I feel like, you know, I'm trying to get out of that, but I feel like it's always going to be in me to be awkward because I've always been that way. That's just, I guess, one of my quirks. I don't really like it sometimes because I just wish that I was more, I guess you could say, like outgoing and more like comfortable being weird in public with people, like more myself. I do that shit online because I feel more comfortable doing it online, but I feel like, you know, even though I'm awkward and stuff, I still would try to like make friends in school. Back then I feel like it was easier to make friends, or what I thought was friends, but like now it kind of just feels like you're a nuisance to people. People already have established friend groups, or they just really don't fuck with you on that level, and it's kind of annoying. It just kind of feels like you're pulling teeth, because even with my own experiences with trying to make friends in my 20s, it has been hell. I know like a couple of videos back I was like super duper geeked because I met someone organically, and I asked, no, he offered to be friends, and I was super duper down with that because I had like a whole, like his coworker or his boss, I would say, gave me a whole pep talk because like initially I found him like attractive, but then I found out like he had a partner. I think he's like, you know, so I was like, I didn't know because I wasn't around him that much. I only saw him 2 times, so I was thinking that, you know what I mean. But no, I don't think he does, but he is like a very attractive person. But he was like, oh, I want to be friends, I'm okay with being friends, we exchange Instagrams, and I already am like for it. I was so excited because it was something that I've never done before. I've never like went up to someone and basically shot my shot with that, and it was scary, but like people ask me like how do I do it. Honestly, like I don't have to like take a shot, or I don't have to like be under the influence to like do these things. I do it sober, and it's all really based on my adrenaline and how I feel. I have to just like, it kind of like overtakes me, and then I just do it to get it over with. It's basically, the high is the adrenaline rush. I don't know. So yeah, I did it. And then when I was talking to him for weeks, he did not ask me to hang out, not once. I was the one messaging him first, and it was already becoming a very annoying thing for me. Like it was like very annoying because it already was starting to sound one-sided, and I was telling other people, am I tripping for this? Am I like reaching for this, thinking that this is already a one-sided thing because I'm the one reaching out to him every single day, and I'm the one checking up on him, I'm the one asking him about himself, and it just feels like he's just responding and not really like engaging with me, and I just kind of became over it, and that like excited feeling that I had about having a new friend kind of just dissipated, because I was just already seeing how this is gonna go and how this is gonna proceed, because I am not like a huge fan of one-sided things, and all we basically were talking about was just school and work, and how he was looking for another job, and how he's gonna be moving to New York soon, and this, that, and the third, which I already knew prior. I just didn't want to say it, but his coworker already told me that he was gonna do it. He was gonna move, and he was telling me before I said anything to him, like, want to be friends with him. He told me to, like, since he's moving, I think you should try to like be his friend, because I feel like you would be a good friend to him. And I'm over here thinking like, yeah, like, you know, since I had that, and he was very blunt with me, like, even if it didn't work out romantically, you could still be his friend. Like, he was not like, that was someone that you probably need to have in your life, is his boss, because he was just very upfront about me. I didn't think it was gonna go romantic, because it just dating life lately, so I just am like, even if I get a friend out of this, I'm totally Gucci.
Bro, nobody really talks about how hard it is not actually having friends, and I'm being like actually serious. Like, I'm not talking about the people who just be like, I don't have friends. No, like, I mean literally have no friends. Like, not even somebody you can just hit up. You finna go to, like, you want to go to the store, you want to go to the mall with me real quick? Like, nothing, none of that. Like, absolutely nothing. And then what make it even worse, y'all, is all my siblings are literally like grown. Like, my parents like just restarted when they had me and my little brother. So I have a little brother at that too, not even a little sister. So like, y'all, I really just like, it's just me out here for real. Like, I just be thugging it, you know? Like, hard time living, you know?
Because I don't really have anyone out here. Like, I don't have anyone out here, and he is not from here either, so I thought like that would be something to talk about, but it just was like not working well for me. Jumping from one topic to another, like I always do it, and I'm constantly like, what? And like when I'm looking back on editing, while I'm editing it, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I literally don't sound coherent sometimes. But yeah. But yeah, we were trying to get used to this normal of getting tested all the time, wearing a mask, always staying inside. Like, this was a new norm for like a couple of years, and I still see people with masks, you know, and that's their business, but it's not as heavily like, you don't, it's not like mandatory like it used to be. But I do remember like my brother, he graduated in 2021, and we had to do everything like what is it called, from like online. So like his graduation was like on a Zoom, and then they just called his name, and that's how it went. And then we had to wait to for his name to be called, and it wasn't really like it was a very anticlimactic experience compared to mine a few years prior, because for mine, I went to prom, I went to my graduation. Like, all those vlogs are still up if you ever want to watch those, but they are very important parts of your life. Like, that's something that you want to look back on. That's like the start of your adulthood, and then like our early adulthood was the panorama, so it kind of like, you know. But when trying to make friends during this time, people often went to like Bumble, or a lot of people went to like online. Like, a lot of people really stayed online around this time. They were extremely chronically online during this time, so a lot of people were making connections during this time, and which is fine, but I feel like it could be a bad thing or a good thing. I feel like the internet has made us very connected, but also very disconnected when it comes to like the real world. Like, it's cool to know what's going on in the world, but it's also kind of very overstimulating of how much we get. Even though, like, even back then, because I grew up on the internet, like, I been using YouTube since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I don't remember it being super overstimulating like how it is now. I have to catch myself and being like, I need to step back because I'm starting to get a little overstimulated being on the internet. And that's how I know I've been on it for too long, because that's what happens. Like every time I'm like, oh my god, this is kind of a lot. I go on Instagram, there's a bunch of things, and you know, people treat Instagram like a dating app now, and that was another way to make friends too, but now it's become a dating app. But according to ABC News, recent surveys show 73% of young adolescents up to about 27 years old, which is basically Gen Z, often feel alone and disconnected, which obviously. And then there was also another part that I do want to mention that was said in the article, was that the research shows that loneliness can be as damaging to health as smoking at 15 cigarettes per day. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's actually a bit much. But they've been doing a lot of studies on people and how lonely they feel and stuff like that, and it's becoming higher and higher every single year with Gen Zers. We are known as the loneliest what is it called, generation. We are the loneliest generation, and it makes a lot of sense because like we don't know how to socialize. Like, let's not beat around the bush here. Like, a lot of people suck at socializing now, and now that I'm like ready to like be mingling and like wanting to socialize, people are like, ew, like what? Because even the thing is, like, when there's a bunch of posts that are like, how do you make friends in your 20s, they'll be like, go to school, try to do it at school. So then I'm like reading these comments, so I'm like, I try to do it at school and it didn't go well either. With me with school, I feel like the beginning of class, like when I first started school, I was very geeked about college. I was like, oh my god, this is like amazing, because I'm thinking of it as like TV and how like my mom went through college. I was 11 when my mom went to college, and when she went to college, I was like thinking that like that's how it always is. Like, it's super exciting meeting your friends at school. Personally, I wouldn't recommend, because like in the first semester of college I was having fun and like I made friends, I guess you could say, but it didn't really go far. I don't know, I don't even know if you can call it friends, but we were always talking. It wasn't like just one person, it was like several people I was talking to in my class. But yeah, like after the semester ended, like this happens every time too, like no one reaches out, this and the third. Like, I've been invited to places at school, but it wouldn't really go into fruition. It would just kind of be like a thought. So I'm like, this is kind of annoying, because the last time I was invited somewhere, it was last semester, and the crazy part is it was from a girl that's like barely at school. So I was kind of like, okay, so how is this gonna work if you're barely in class? Like, you don't go to neither classes, and we went to the same classes apparently. And like, she invited me and the other girls out that was in our group, that I did a group project with, and like nobody was really interested. Like, no one really responded to her other than me and this other girl, and then it just didn't really like go anywhere. It was just kind of like a thought. So I was just like, this is kind of like a pointless. At first I was excited because I'm like, you know, I don't like to get excited over things, but I do like embarrassingly get excited over things whenever people invited me places like that. But since I know that she's a very flaky person, I was just kind of like, wait, she's the flaky one, like literally what? And like, I kind of noticed that like whenever I would get like someone's Instagram from school, I'm thinking that we're cool, but they always kind of like want me for things like notes and stuff like that and homework help. Like last semester really kind of beat my ass, because I was just kind of like thinking that I was going to be making friends with the people that I had a group project with, and I kept like, they kept looking at me all the time to give them instructions when the teacher would be like, oh, this is what I'm doing for the next assignment. They would always look at me because I was always the one paying attention. I was always the one engaging in the conversation. So I was kind of like the go-to person until my mom was like, you know, maybe you should stop being that person to be relied on in that way, and maybe just tell them like that you don't know, instead of like always being the person to go to for that. And I keep thinking like, you know, and I would wait and see if they will like want to hang out with me, but then they'll be kind of like just asking me for homework shit, and I'm like, why am I always only cool enough for like homework, like copy off of this, that, and the third, and like copy notes off of, like not homework, like no one copies off of my homework, but like notes. Why am I only cool enough to be like a convenience for when you need it for notes, but nothing else?
It's like the older and older I get, the more and more I just want to be around people I relate to. Like, birds of the same feather flock together never really applied to me, because I always had friends that had different values, different principles, doing different shit. People that's like so different from me. But it's like nowadays, I just want to be around people like me, young lit bitches that want to travel the world. Like, I'm tired of seeing, I don't want to be around no mothers. I'm sorry. I'm tired of it. I know you have duties. I respect them. I love children. But I'm tired of being around and meeting only people that have kids because they have different responsibilities I don't fucking have. I just want to relate at this point in life. You know what I'm saying? I want to be around people that have the same amount of freedom as me, the same ideals, the same plans for life. You know, not everything has to be the same, but like, I think I'm just looking for my tribe. Like, ever since I hit 25, a bitch just want to belong. Like, I'm tired of forcing it. Like, it's just like, I want to be around people like me. Like, and it's just the people in relationships too. I don't want to be around them. Different values, different da-da-da. I don't want your nigga pulling up on us while we outside. Can we just have fun? Like, where's the carefree ass bitches that really just be doing their own thing in their own world, but also want somebody to join them in their own world? If you know what I mean.
Plus, I was always the one that was like the more talkative one in the group. It was just very awkward in the beginning, and it was just kind of like pulling teeth, because they were just like, it looked like I was talking in a different language, because the way that they would like look at, like, if people in general look at me, they'll be like, why is she talking? Like, it's just kind of like very discouraging, because I'm trying to like get out of my shell more, and it's really hard to do it in college. They tell you to make friends in college, make friends at work, make friends, like go to clubs, like not like clubs, but like chess club or whatever. I don't know who's going to chess club, but I try to look at like stuff, like events for my school, to see if I would be down for any of it. I look like the thirsty one wanting to be friends and stuff like that, and it just, I don't like that look for me. I don't like to look desperate, and I don't think I look desperate, but I do get too excited over nothing, like, and it's kind of embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like, you know, since I became an adult, I've noticed that I was always the one that was being pursued romantically or platonically, so I wasn't used to being the one to tell people what I want first, instead of like waiting for them. So when I was like, you know what, like, since I want friends, I'm gonna be upfront about it, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like, I've tried Bumble. It's very awkward on there. Like, it kind of just feels like everyone is just so boring and dry. Like, I think I did that, like, Bumble BFF like 3-4 years ago, and I just was like so over it, because people were saying to go on there, and I'm just like, what? That shit is so boring. Like, some people have really good luck on that, but I just never did. I never like met someone outside of it. But there was even an article on Vice, which I love the Vice YouTube channel. Like, they have a lot of like cool stuff on there that you wouldn't think would be on there, but they have a website that said that Gen Zers were so lonely that they were making like BFF applications on Facebook, and it was mostly women that was doing it. There were some women that had luck with it, but then I just don't really know if it's like a reliable thing, but there was like a good chunk of women that were saying that they had fun with it, and it's a pretty recent article. And another thing that I learned about this whole friendship thing, I feel like there's a lot of standards that people put on these people that they don't really know. For one, is that I noticed that people were befriending other girls because of their aesthetic. Like, they would think that they're pretty, so they'll be like, oh, I want to hang out with them because they're pretty, which is not really like a good thing to, like, if you only want to be friends with someone because of how they look, that's a very goofy. Like, I would look at more of how they act versus how they look, because that's like, looks fade after a long time, and like, it's just kind of weird that that's like the only thing that's on your mind. Like, you want to look like those baddie girlfriend groups that I see all the time on TikTok, and like, it's great and all, but like, I just hope in the back of my mind that they're friends for good reasons and not just for how they look, you know what I mean? And because there was like this one girl like a couple months back that said, oh, I don't want to be friends with anyone that's ugly, I don't want to have any ugly friends. And then like the whole internet attacked her because she wasn't like societally, like, she wasn't ideally like the most attractive person in the world. So people were like, the call is coming from your house, like, what do you mean you don't want to have ugly friends? You're the ugly friend. And I'm like, damn, like, people are really tearing this girl up. But she kind of like asked that, she kind of invited that with that type of energy, because if you're gonna be coming with that type of energy, you gotta come with a lot of heat too.
Y'all seen a girl on y'all For You page talk about some, how y'all be friends with ugly girls? Boo, I'm afraid the caller is inside the house.
I had to send a video of this girl saying, how y'all be having ugly friends? Y'all, it's not about what she said. It is about what she said. But if you seen what she looked like, think the phone ringing from inside of the house. Your house, boo. But when I'm be friends with people, I don't be like, oh, yeah, they gonna be cute or ugly. I just, if a bitch funny and they got the same sense of humor as me, then bitch, no shade. We gonna get along like 2 peas in a pot and 2 D's in a puss. But I would rather them to have somewhat of the same aesthetic as me when it goes to like getting cute and stuff. Because some girls don't like getting cute. They don't care about it, stuff like that. That's the one thing I will not do. A bitch get money and a bitch that do not like to get dressed up or get their hair done. That's what I don't like doing. You don't even got to be the most attractive bitch. I don't give a fuck. Girl, I'm not fucking you. It just, when y'all say that, it be giving that shop you want to fuck on y'all friends or something. Or you be them type of bitches that be like, 2 pretty best friends type shit, like, and you want to post a video to that.
When a bunch of people were stitching her video, they were kind of like attacking her and being like, yeah, like, have you seen yourself? And personally, I wouldn't even go that far to be bashing this woman, but it is kind of like crazy that all you're thinking about is, I want pretty women, I want people for my aesthetics. And what do you mean by ugly? Like, define that too, you know what I mean? But she got so flamed on the internet that she like private her in like TikTok and stuff like that, and it was kind of crazy because people were still trying to look for her and trying to like dog her out, but her page was private after that video. She like deleted the shit. Like, it was kind of insane, and it wasn't even someone that had a lot of followers. She had like 200, 300 followers on her TikTok, and then that video blew up because obviously people were like looking at her sideways, like, what do you mean? But I just feel like there's a lot of unrealistic standards, and maybe that's one of the reasons why people are not making a lot of friends, because they kind of make it seem like it's a competition all the time. I will say that when I was in a girl group back in high school, it was honestly hell. I feel like, I'm not even gonna like front here, I feel like I do deal with still like the trauma from high school, because I was in like a really toxic friend group, and maybe I'm not as open as I think I am to friends, but I do want it. But I just feel like I've gotten so much trust issues from being friends with women. Like, they basically, like, I feel like people were only friends with me throughout my life because they wanted to gain something from me. I was the person that had a good upbringing, so I was the person that had a good head on my shoulders, and everyone else was going through a lot of things, like with their parents being addicts and stuff. So they will kind of like make fun of me because I wasn't having addicted parents, and they were kind of like looking at me like, oh my god, like I was getting bullied a lot for having a mom that loved me. I was getting bullied a lot for that because clearly she was projecting on me, and you know, as a child I didn't understand what that was. I didn't understand why she was being mean, but I was kind of feeling like when I was in a friend group, I was like a punching bag to people because I was a people pleaser, and they would just kind of take out their frustrations out on me, and I would just kind of take it, and it was very traumatic. Like, that really hindered a lot of my self-confidence because I let it go on for so long. And then when she would reach out to me, you know, when I moved out of California, it was only to basically like lurk on my stuff and see if like my parents, like, she wanted to see if I had a really traumatic situation go on that she could make fun of me for. And at this point we were like 19, so I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Like, she asked me, like, we're in the middle of a conversation, she messaged me and she's like, are your parents still together? I think that was the last thing that we said. It was like a couple of years ago, like maybe 2021 or something. And I was just like, how do you just start a conversation like that? Like, we were what I thought was best friends in high school, and you know, I thought she was my best friend, but when I look back on that relationship, I was nothing but a punching bag to her and several other people. Like, she and many other women were making fun of me all the time. They would make fun of like my features. They would make fun of the fact that I didn't have addicted parents. They would make fun of everything, honestly, like literally everything. And I think that they were so close and try to keep ties on me, because whenever I do remember when I was like 16 and I tried to branch out and I tried to befriend this one girl that was like Native American, and everyone was scared of her. Girl, everyone was scared of her because she was thick and she looked intimidating. But there was like this event at school where they had like that I think I have it on my Snapchat from high school that I'm still logged into, but they had like this event where they had like that little, it's like a Chuck E. Cheese thing, but instead of fake money, they think they had real money in it, and then like the kids can go in there and grab it. So it was like that. How we met was that I was like, oh, it smells like sewage, like it smelled really bad, and that's how we became friends. Like, I just was like, and she was like, yeah, it does smell bad, and then we just started like chit-chatting from there, and we would constantly hang out. She never made me like feel bad until there was one time where my dad picked me up from school, which he never really did. It was mostly my mom, or I would walk home by myself because I lived really I lived really close to my school, so I was very thankful of that. It was very like, it was walking distance, and I remember the path that I used to take. But she saw my dad and she was like, that's your dad? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, he's so dark. And I was like, and that's when I kind of started like losing, like, I started kind of like not fucking with her as much, because I was just like, well, you're just like everyone else, because what? Who says that? And she said it kind of loud, like, but he didn't like hear it. But I had to like pull her aside and be like, that was really uncomfortable. I didn't really like how you came at me like that, and it's just really not something you should say to someone, you know, like coming at someone because they're dark is just a really weird thing. And she was Native American, and they come dark, like they come in different shades. And with her, they would make me feel guilty, and then the people pleasing would come out, and I'll be like, oh, maybe I should go back to my old friend group because at least I know them more. Girl, what I knew was the abuse. I was familiar with the abuse. I was getting emotionally abused by them all the time, not no funny shit. So I can't see myself being in another girl group, because I feel like it's always about like being competitive, and then a lot of people nowadays are very male-centered, and it just seems like it's literally hell. Like every time I talk to a girl, I tried talking to a girl at school, it was always very much male centered. Like they would talk to me about their exes, and I'm like, girl, I don't even know you. Like, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this? Like, I don't really like care to know that type of stuff. Like, I would rather know about you on the inside versus like dudes. Like, I don't want to hear about dudes all the time. It kind of gets old. I feel like I'm a therapist all the time to people, and that would also make me not want to befriend people, because they would kind of just see me as a therapist all the time, and like it's annoying because they'll like treat me like shit, but then they'll be like wanting me to help them, and I'm just like, I don't get it. When I was younger, I had people around me and I thought they were my friends too, but again, I think they were only around me to gain something from me. And I think I started kind of noticing a pattern with that when I was maybe 12, 11 years old, and I was like, yeah, you know, every time I befriend someone, they either want to use me because my mom had all like the cool fun snacks, the popsicles. She was very affectionate, so people would go to her because they were lacking that in their household. In my head, I didn't understand that, but you know, I was just very a jealous person, so I was like, why do they keep just going up to my parents asking for attention from them? Like, why? I'm your kid, not them. So I would be like really angry over it, and like what's it called, I would see it because they would either want me because they want to get close to my mom, or they want to get close to my brother. And then even when I got older, and then like people that I grew up with that I've known since damn near we were in diapers and shit, they would message me and I would be so upset because they would be like, oh, like, how is your brother, how is your mom? They would never ask about me. They would always ask about my brother, or ask about my mom, and I'm just like, oh yeah, they're great. And I get that that was like my brother's best friend forever, but I was just like really butthurt because I was your best friend too, and like we all grew up together. Like, you have pictures of me in your house when we were all little, so you know what I mean? I don't get it. So I would be really in my feelings. I'm just like, I don't feel like I have a place in the world ever with people, because I just feel like people always want to gain something from me, and I'm always coming with actual intentions, but then they're like, oh well, she has this, she has that. They're like kind of like shopping, like let me get that. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like, and it's been like that for a long time. It's hard. It's definitely very hard out there in the dating world, the friendship world. Everything is just lacking, and it's just getting worse. And I feel like it's getting worse because people just don't want to open up. People don't want to socialize, and I even had a talk about it with my mom's friend the other day, because I had posted something on my Insta story the other day, and I was saying like, oh, this is all because I didn't want to like hang out with this dude. So he says, you doing too much, bitch. You're fat and ugly with makeup, which I barely wear makeup. Okay, and the most I wear is eyeshadow, mascara, and lipstick. So he says, talking about the dating pool sucks. Bitch, no one wants an overlooking bitch like you. Be real. California washes you. Ugly ass hoes. Glad I'm only visiting so I can get back to my bitches. LMAO, you really thought you did something. That was a man getting in his feelings the other day because I did not want to hang out with him. So we were talking about how, like, you know, how bad dating has been, and she was telling me that she was feeling really bad because like it's gotten like shit, and she's like, it wasn't even always like that. And she told me when she was going on a date with her husband, who I love them as a couple, by the way. I grew up with them. They've known me since I was 11 years old, which is kind of crazy. But she was telling me that she was like sitting next to a young couple in a restaurant, and she told me how like disconnected they were. They weren't even talking to each other. They were just scrolling on their phones. And I'm just like, this is literally what I see at school as well. Like, people do not talk to each other. They just kind of like sit by each other and like don't acknowledge each other after they're scrolling on their phone. It's really not genuine. And I feel like when it comes to out here, like, you have to be growing up with these people to, I guess, have a connection with these people, because this town is very small, and they keep saying this town is big. It's really not. I don't think it is, because where is that? Like, what? But I haven't found like a solid person to hang out with, and like, I would hate when I would go on dates and they'll be like, oh, you don't have friends? And I'm like, and it would make me sad, because I'm just like, they're just kind of like making fun of me for not having friends. And it's not something that I wanted. It's something that just kind of happened. Like, I've been flying solo for so long now, and it's just kind of like, if you're along for the ride with me, that's cool, but if you're not, like, you're not. Like, I'm not gonna force you to stay, you know what I mean? But like, you're only friends with your coworkers because you work with them and you do all these things with them. You guys are always together, so that is your coworker, but you call them your friend. And I don't know about making friends at work, because I feel like they can use your like vulnerabilities and report it to HR or something to get you fired. So I kind of get uncomfortable with the idea of like people saying like, make friends at work. Not everyone has malicious intentions, but I just feel like some of them definitely do, and you just kind of have to be like really wary about people's intentions. The thing that I learned on TikTok was about a low effort or low maintenance friend, and basically a low maintenance friend is like when a friend that does not require constant attention or communication to maintain a friendship, allowing flexibility and understanding of busy schedules. And a lot of people were kind of jumping on this and not really agreeing with it, because it looks like it's a one-sided thing. But I feel like it could be seen as like, those type of friendships can be seen as someone that's been friends for like years. Because I feel like I probably give low maintenance, because I can go a long time without talking to people, and like, and a lot of times it doesn't bother me, but sometimes it does. But I also will say that I really suck at like reaching out to people, but I do have like connections of people that I've known for years, and I can go a long time without talking to them, and I could check up on them and act like nothing happened. And also, you have to really like make aware that we are adults, and everyone is on their different path in life, and like, you know, coming off needy when you're trying to figure out your life is just not the move, you know. But also, like, I kind of get where they're coming from, because, you know, everyone kind of like sees it differently. They probably want more of a connection, but they're like very low maintenance on the, so it's kind of like a teeter-totter. But you also have to like communicate that you want more of a connection, instead of like crying about it on the internet, because how are they supposed to know what you want if you're telling the world about it and not them? Like,
let's normalize calling people out for being bad friends. Let's normalize not having one-side friendships, because I feel like people fail to realize just because you're a busy person does not give you the room to not text back, to not call back, to not reach out, to not communicate anything. I think I learned in 2024 the biggest thing is people that want to will, people that don't want to won't. Like, I've dropped like 10-year plus friendships that I swore were like actually meaningful to me, because it was not reciprocated. And that doesn't mean I'm a bad friend. That means the people I swore were close to would not reach out if I wasn't the one reaching out to them. And I think that's a really hard pill to swallow, but bad friends are so common, and people are just desperate for friendships that they just allow people to treat them like that. Now, I will say I've been the bad friend in a lot of scenarios, probably too, but I think like some of this stuff is just like, wow, like I sometimes think like, why do I allow people to treat me like this? And I stopped. Like 2024, I stopped. But like going into 2025, I've realized too, like, I am tired of reaching out to people. Like, I'm not gonna hold that weight anymore. That's just my rant.
Kind of sad. It's just, it shouldn't be like as hard as it is. And I think that's why so many people are just flying solo dolo nowadays, because it's such a hassle to really get to know someone. That's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, I got new glasses. I forgot to say that in the beginning of the video. I got them on Thursday. Today is Sunday, so I've had them for a few days, and now I can see like perfectly, but they're also dirty already. Like, I haven't had them for very long, and it's called Tortoise Gold. The tortoise shell, it might be my newest thing, because I'm not used to using just completely black glasses like this, and these do look good on me. They do look similar to this. That's what I was trying to go for. But I'm gonna end the video here. Hopefully you'll see this video today. It's probably gonna come out really late, but at least it's up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And yeah, I will see you guys next week with a new one.